हाँ सर, सुरू करा. मुळे सर.
Good evening to one and all. I am Assistant Professor Mule Machindra. It gives immense pleasure to me introduce and welcome this session resource person, eminent scholar, Honorable Dr. Arjun Musmade sir, Associate Professor in Geography, Khadki Education Societies, Tikaram Jagannath Arts, Commerce and Science College, Khadki, Pune. Sir is having 28 years teaching experience in senior college, member of the Board of Study Geography, Savitribai Phule Pune University, and member of the 48-3 by University Act 2016. Sir has elected as the Vice President of Maharashtra Bhugol Shastra Parishad, Pune for the period 2020 to 2025. PhD
आवाज गेलाय का सर? आवाज येतोय का तुम्हाला सगळ्यांना त्यांचा?
नाही येते सर. मुळे सर आवाज येत नाहीये.
मुळे सरांचा आवाज येत नाहीये.
तर मुळे सरांकडे थोडा नेटचा प्रॉब्लेम असतो.
तेरी बर बर बर. सर लेफ्टच झालं.
Sir, can I introduce?
येस प्लीज, येस प्लीज, गो अहेड.
This is Devi Sonone, and for the today's session, for the second session, we have Dr. Arjun Musmade sir is with us. He will be going to deliver concept talk on population and urbanization in India. Sir is presently working as an associate professor in geography at Khadki Education Society's Tikaram Jagannath Arts, Commerce and Science College, Khadki, Pune. He has teaching experience of 28 years. He is elected as BS member in geography, Savitribai Phule Pune University, Pune. Also, he is elected as a vice president of Maharashtra Bhugol Shastra Parishad, Pune for the period 2025. Under his guidance, 6 students have completed their doctoral degree, while 2 students have completed MPhil. He has published 25 research papers and 23 research articles in various reputed journals and conference proceedings. Sir has published 9 books and also completed 4 minor research projects funded by BCUD and UGC. He has been invited as a resource person at various conferences and workshops, and also he has organized more than 10 conferences and workshops. Apart from this, he has worked as coordinator of environment awareness course, then NSS program officer. He has worked student welfare officer and then college examination officer. On behalf of all the participants, again, I welcome sir in this concept talk and request you to deliver your views. Thank you, sir.
Okay, my dear friends, Dr. Devane sir, Dr. Dhawale sir, and all participants, they are doing PhD and they are doing this coursework. Basically, I just give very good wishes about this Ganpati festival. You know, today starting the Ganpati festival, and you are also in mood of today's holiday for Ganpati festival. But our professor Devane sir arranged this function before, means from last 1 month. He just arranged this all arrangement, and so it is difficult to give holiday today for all participants, all PhD students. But I am also in holiday mode, and you also holiday mode. But just in some few minutes, I give some uh, not a new, but some interesting talks or interesting information about the issues and challenges in urbanization in India. And I'm especially talking about the especially reference to the Maharashtra. Basically, you know, the level of urbanization is an economy in an index of transformation and traditional to the modern one. Means, in shortly, it's a transition of, or it is a transformation of traditional to modern one. Urbanization in single sentence is a transition. In past period, people living in rural areas, they living in forest or something, but they just transfer from rural area to urban area, and so the level of urbanization is any economy in index of transportation transformation and from traditional to modern one. Basically, it is an established generalization that the increase in urbanization boost means basically secondary activities in the like as the industry and tertiary activities like services. This change of primary sector or agriculture allied sector toward the industrial sector or service sector. Urbanization is regarded to symbol of economic growth and development. My friends, basically, you know what is urbanization, but in urbanization, two things are most important. First thing is transformation, and same time with the transformation, our activity or human activity also going to change, and if backwardness to convert into development or backwardness in converted into economic growthness of any country or any region on the earth surface. You know, in basically in 11 census, among many of the important issues has reflected, but two major demographic dimensions in India. One is a seriously declining sex ratio, especially the child sex ratio, and another is the complexities of urbanization. These two issues is the main issues in census 2011, and from that two issues, already sex ratio is a different part, but urbanization is related to the development issue. And after this pandemic situation, this urbanization is taken most important role in development of any countries or any region on the earth surface. This is a break. This is a pandemic situation is a break for this process, and so I just select this subject, urbanization of India and special reference to Maharashtra. When we are just talking about the urbanization, there is some definition of urbanization is important. The meaning and concept of the urbanization means the criteria for urbanization used in India is discussed. The criteria is like the population above 5,000 is the one criteria. Second is density of population above 400 persons, and more than 70% of population main worker population should be engaged in the non-agricultural sector is a basic criteria in the concept of urbanization. In which area is urban area and which area is the rural area, these three criteria is the most important. All the places with municipality corporation, cantonment board, or notified towns, area committee, etc., known as a statutory town. All other places is satisfied the following criteria known as census town. A minimum population of 5,000, at least 70% of the main population worked in a non-agricultural sector, and at least 70%, then a density of population is more than 400 per square meter is a basic criteria for the urban area or the for urban region. Basically, we are not talking more on Indian scenario, but my view to talk about the urbanization in Maharashtra. But before that, some point is most important for Indian urbanization. Basically, you know, in last some lectures, you are just heard about the various projects, various research publications, various research theses. But today I am just talking about this matter because this gives some hints to your topic or a selection of the topic also. When you are just talking about the nature of urbanization in India, urbanization in India happened faster in post-liberalization period. Presently, although urbanization is taking place at the fast rate in India, only one third of this population lives in urban areas. According to the 2011 census, there are 53 cities in India which a population of more than or a million or more. And in 2031, the number of will be rise up to 87. Means 53 to 83 is the difference in 15 years is the projection for Indian urban population. And this is the main issue for our study. Survival of the urban people is depends on various infrastructural facilities available in the urban area. And in which rate you develop this urban facility, which you just face to this high urban population in 2031 is the most important point. So we just go through the causes of urbanization in India. There is some causes for urbanization in India. First cause for that is the expansion of the government services as a result of the Second World War and independence. Means we are just talking about the historical background of the urbanization in India. The first historical background is expansion in government services as a result of the Second World War and independence. After independence, the urbanization in India is slightly developed or means after 81, after 1981, urbanization growth rate is high also in India compared to some back period or some independence to 81 period. Then influx of population during the partition of the country. This is the most important point because which after partition there is a two different countries are created. One is Pakistan, second is India, and some people just population move from one place to another place. Means from Pakistan to India. Some people move from India to Pakistan, and they capture the city area. They not move toward the rural area. They just move in one some cities, and this is also important point for urbanization in northern part of the India. Then the industrial development in the planning and mixed economy model is also important factor. 11th plan, 11th five-year plan that aimed to urbanization for the economic development. Basically, before after 2206 means 2206 there is a 11th plan going on. In that particular plan, government just give some focus on urbanization development because government know when urbanization is increased, automatically industry is going to increase in urban areas and some job opportunities. The working population is needed by this urban area, and some job opportunities created in that urban area. And so, in 11th plan, people just government just focus on the urbanization. Then next, growing economic opportunities attraction for the city life. Growing economic opportunities means in basically in urban area there is a lot of small scale or large scale economic activities also going to develop. Automatically, people move from rural area to opportunity because there is opportunity of job, opportunity of services, opportunity to good life, city life means good facilities of transportation network. Then some entertainment facility also important at that time. So growing economy opportunities, attraction for the city life means same time infrastructural facilities in the urban areas also impact on the urbanization of India. And last one is the growth of private sector and services sector after 1990s. Means after 1990s, the private sector developed in Indian cities, and automatically people are interesting to get job in that city area. And my opinion, after 1990, the urbanization India is fastly growing up or developed various various urban or various cities improve in the India. In that urbanization, one important parameter is most important because migration is playing important role in the urbanization of India. The process of urbanization mainly takes place due to the migration of rural people, a rural population, a rural human towards the urban areas. Basically, every area has carries some population. Rural area carries some population, urban area carries some population, but some facilities available, some infrastructure available, some job opportunities available, or some city life available in particular area. Automatically, people move from rural area towards the urban area, and the process of urbanization so mainly takes place due to the migration of rural population to the urban population. In India, about 60% of migrant migration make intra-district moves. When you are just going to study about the Indian migration or Indian population migration, in that particular migration, 60% of the migration is intra-district, means district from one tehsil to another tehsil, one district to another tehsil, like this. The second most common types of the migration are those who move between district to district. Mean district means intra district, one district to another district. Inter district means in district, one taluka to other taluka, one village to other village from same tehsil, and this inter tehsil migration. And these are short distance migration. About 11% of the migrants move between states, as a woman usually move to their husband's village at a migration, at a marriage. Female migration is more prominent that male migration in India is a social structure. Means basically growth rate, migration, development index is this an important parameter for urbanization in India, but migration playing very important role. And when you just getting some data about the migration, automatically you found 60% of migration is intra-district migration, and this in and second one is an inter-district migration. But this both migration is related to female migration, and this is a social issue. This is the issue related to related to marriage situation. And so we got some fuzzy figure from about the migration. We said lot of people migrate from one place to another place, and there is a means indirectly we say there is some infrastructure or there is some opportunity of job, but not like this. Lot of people or lot of migration is related to marriage social structure in India. Then second thing is non-economic factors also impact on the on migration. Why you just is asking, sir, why you are talking about this migration? But uh, basically, my interest to why city is going to develop in India, and we are just explaining some causes of some causes of urbanization in India, and that main cause is a migration, and second one is a non-economic factors. In entire times of migration from rural to urban areas was largely on account of non-economic factors such as social, such as physical factors, such as demographic factors, such as cultural factors, such as communication factor. Means this is every time. Don't assume that all migration, all cities develop for economic purpose, but sometimes some people uh, just move by non-economic factor also. In past entire period, migration from rural to urban areas is largely on account of the non-agricultural factor, or sorry, non-economical factor. Every time a human being not move from for the job opportunity, not for the working ability in that particular area, but they just move by the social factor. Means some community is living in that particular area, and people, so they are just most comfortable in that particular social community, and so they move from one place to another place. And the when independent period, this uh, in म्हणजे मला असं म्हणायचंय की इंडिया आणि पाकिस्तानचं ज्यावेळेस फाळणी झालं, आय एम जस्ट टॉकिंग इन वन सेंटेन्स इन मराठी, त्या फाळणीच्या काळामध्ये अनेक हिंदू पॉप्युलेशन हे पाकिस्तानमधून भारतामध्ये मूव्ह झालं, तर काही मुस्लिम पॉप्युलेशन हे इंडियामधनं पाकिस्तानमध्ये मूव्ह झालं. याचं कारण हे फक्त इकॉनॉमिक ऍक्टिव्हिटी नव्हतं, तर नॉन इकॉनॉमिक फॅक्टर त्याला इम्पॅक्ट करत होता. कारण त्यामध्ये सोशल फॅक्टर होता. कारण काही त्यांचे काही म्हणजे पिलग्रिम्स, त्यांचे काही उत्सव, त्यांचे काही सण हे एकमेकाशी रिलेटेड होते, आणि धार्मिक रचनेत बदल होता, म्हणून सोशल फॅक्टरनी हे लोक मूव्ह झाले. याचा अर्थ त्यांना इकॉनॉमिक ऍक्टिव्हिटीज इज अ मोर in India, or economic activities less in Pakistan, not like this. People move by social activities, social causes only. Same time, physical causes, sometimes some river flood or earthquake, like this, or some landsliding is there, and people move from one place to another place. This is the non-economic factors impact on the migration. Then demographic factor, cultural factor, and communication factor also is a non-economic factor. It's an interesting part. Economic factors for migration is important factor. Uh, there is some confusion in your minds. Why sir talking about the migration? Because basically all urbanization process depends on migration, and this migration is important. So the impact on migration is three factors. One is basically uh, migration social factor. I already talking about the interstate, intrastate, and interstate migration. But same time, non-economic factors impact on migration, and non-economic factors also, or economic and non-economic factor also impact on the migration. Along these non-economic factors, migration is also caused by the economic factors. And these include push from subsistence agriculture and pull of relatively high urban wages, and pushback towards rural area as a result of high urban unemployment. There is a three important word. One is a push, second is a pull, and third one is a pushback. This migration is purely depends on economic factors of that particular areas. Then in that pull, push, or this three concept is important. One is a push from subsistence agriculture. Means, human being trying every time to get more money. Why? Because he needed for his finishing his basic need, that food, shelter, nowadays education, nowadays transportation, like this. And so people every time try to give more money from various activity. And in that concept in mind, pushback subsistence agriculture, most agriculture workers and small and marginal farmer find only seasonal work in rural areas or in agricultural sector, and the income are not enough for their subsistence. म्हणजे त्यांच्या उदरनिर्वाहाला उदरनिर्वाह शेतीतून सफिशियंट पैसे मिळणं अशक्य असतं. Also, no proper rural infrastructure developed has taken place in the most of the areas which leads to slower growth of non-agricultural jobs. म्हणजे basically in subsistence agricultural, income are not enough for their subsistence, no proper rural infrastructure development, and effect of that, most of the area which leads to slower growth of non-agricultural jobs. Means all jobs is related to the agriculture, and this agricultural job also seasonal job. And so people push from rural area to urban area. सेम टाइम पूल ऑफ रिलेटिव्हली हाय अर्बन वेज, मग ते आकर्षले जातात. म्हणजे ते काय होतात, तिथून दूर जातात, खेड्यातून दूर जातात आणि ते आकर्षित होतात. का ना, कशाने आकर्षित होतात? तर पूल ऑफ रिलेटिव्हली हाय अर्बन वेजेस. म्हणजे शहरांमध्ये जे हाय वेजेस असतात, बेसिकली यू नो फ्रॉम ऑल पार्टिसिपेशन ऑल पार्टिसिपंट, लॉट ऑफ पीपल फ्रॉम रुरल एरिया, they are doing agriculture in, or their parents doing agriculture, and they know there is a lot of people doing self-sufficient agriculture, means agriculture area is small, family members doing agriculture work, and some seasonal work, they just occupy some agricultural labor, and they give some wages for that, but this wages is very less. Automatically this wages is sometimes time slot wages is available, working is available. So people pull by relatively high urban wages in urban areas. All over the world, urban wages are comparatively higher than the rural wage. Therefore, pool of relatively high urban wages is a quite strong, and a large number of people, particularly the young men and women, keep on migrating to the cities. And same time, this high wages pull the people from rural area to urban area. But after these two situations, mean both things, pull and push, both things is favorable for urban population, growing in urban population, growing in cities. Lot of people move from urban area to rural area, rural area to urban area. And after that, some cities facing some new problems. And cities cannot absorb all the people seeking jobs in India. It has observed that the rate of urban unemployment is generally higher than the rate of rural unemployment. I'm just repeating this sentence. Cities cannot absorb all the people seeking jobs in India. It has been observed that the rate of urban unemployment is generally higher than the rate of rural unemployment. Because high wage, less less working ability in rural area. Same way, pull and push factor give support to urbanization, give support to population move from rural area to urban area. But after some time, these people is not observed by cities. There is no same time some unemployment problem is created also in city and push back towards the rural areas. And these people just push back to the rural area. As a result, sometimes there is some pushback towards rural areas. This implies that out of the large number of migrants from rural area, as from rural to urban areas, some of those who are unable to find work in cities go back to the village. This reverse migration makes the process of urbanization more complex. And this is a main issue for negative migration, negative urbanization. And impact of that, Indian urbanization is a very interesting part by this non-agricultural, non-economic factor, economic factor, and all these factors impact on the urbanization of India. Basically, there is a lot of factors impact on the urbanization of India, but I am just talking about the economic and non-economic factors of India to impact on the urbanization in Indian population. My next point, because there is a lot of material, lot of things to explain, lot of causes for Indian urbanization, but I am not interested in that causes because you got your post-graduation degree. Some people are already completed MPhil degree, and they know population geography very well. They know urbanization very well. But this is the important point for the changing scenario of Indian urbanization. So I explained these three factors in detail in your today's lecture. Next, a regional pattern of urbanization is important because lot of material. But I know today's Ganpati festival starts. I know 1.5 hour is scheduled for me, and in that 1.5 hours, lot of material or available material explain in front of you. It's very difficult task. But so I just use some filter for my point. And next point is the regional pattern of the urbanization. Means before this, I just explain what is urbanization, why urbanization is important, what is the main causes of the urbanization in India, and concept of urbanization. This all points explained by me in this lecture. Next point is the regional pattern of urbanization. My dear friends, it is very difficult to talk online for me because last 27 years we just talk one to one in classroom, and it is a one-way traffic is very difficult, and so some repetition is happen by me in this online lecture. So please give some means just to assume this is very difficult for me because online lecture is not our culture. Basically, our culture, it is my culture. So try to give some knowledge from this lecture. Online explanation is slightly difficult for me, but from that urbanization process, some basic concepts I am going to talk in this lecture. And next concept is the regional pattern of urbanization in India. Since India is a vast, very from north to south, east to west. There is a cultural difference is there, geographical various difference is there. Same time, urbanization process in India also not same. There is a all region is not same urbanized. The process, speed, and extent of urbanization are not uniform in different states in the country. In the census 2011, the data shows that the biggest trends of towards urbanization in the southern India, where all states except Andhra Pradesh have more than 35% of the population living in urban area. Means in shortly, compare when you are compared to regional development or regional urbanization in India, southern result is slightly forward to remaining parts of the country. Except Andhra Pradesh is slightly a rural state, but other state means Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Kerala, Andhra Pradesh. This state is sorry, except Andhra Pradesh, all states are well means more than 35% of the population living in urban areas. In that, Tamil Nadu, as much as 48.5% of the total population, roughly half of the total population lives in the urban areas. Means, in shortly, Tamil Nadu is a urbanized state is in southern India, and when you are just comparing other states to India, this is the highest percentage of the urban population in India in Tamil Nadu state. Other state from South India, the Karnataka 47.7, sorry, Kerala 47.7%, Karnataka 36.6%, Andhra Pradesh 33.5 of the means is the lowest urban population in southern India, 33.5. Other states are more than 35% of the urban population. Then among other states, Haryana, Punjab, Uttarakhand, West Bengal, and Manipur have seen faster urbanization than the rest of the country. Gujarat and Maharashtra already had more than 35% of population is living in urban areas, and this 35% they already achieved in 2001 census, which in 2011 census 42% of the Gujarat population and 45.2% of the Maharashtra population lived in urban areas. Means when you are just compare the other state from South India, when I am just talking 35%, more than 35%, but this 35% already crossed by these two states in 2001 census. But what happened in between 2001 and 2011? It is the most important point, because urbanization rate of urbanization decreased in these two states comparative to Tamil Nadu state and Kerala state. I'm right? Just give response to me. मी काय म्हटलं ते लक्षात आलंय का तुमच्या आता? हॅलो.
Yes, sir.
Participants, please respond.
विकास लक्षात आलंय मी काय म्हटलं? मला
Yes.
काय मला हे बघा, everybody know, sir, why you are talking for old subject? It is old. I know this is an old subject, but when you are doing some research, your research move from the direction also. Why? Why Maharashtra and Gujarat is less, means not a less, but growth rate of urbanization is going to decrease in these 2 years comparatively to Tamil Nadu and Kerala. This is an important point. In terms of urban population, the top three states are Maharashtra with 58.8 million, Uttar Pradesh 44.4 million, and Tamil Nadu with 34.9 million population. I know, my dear students, population comparatively high population living in urban area in these two states, but comparatively less population in Tamil Nadu live in urban area. But when urbanization, find out the urbanization percentage, automatically total population is less of that state. So आपण असं म्हणू शकत नाही तर सर तिथं कमी पॉप्युलेशन राहतं, पण कमी राहतं तर स्टेटची पॉप्युलेशन कमी म्हणून त्याचं कमी दिसतंय. पण जर टोटल ओव्हरऑल वी जस्ट कम्पेअर टू ओव्हरऑल पॉप्युलेशन ऑफ दॅट पर्टिक्युलर स्टेट, ऑटोमॅटिकली तमिळनाडू इज रँकिंग फर्स्ट. ओके, देन नेक्स्ट थिंग, we are just explain the regional pattern. Now we just compare our state, because special reference to Maharashtra. In my talk I am talking special reference to Maharashtra and India. Maharashtra, the situation would be perhaps still worst. For it, 48% people of the world stay in the town. In India, we have, when just comparison, 28 to 30% urban population in India, making further process of the urbanization still more painful difficult and longer. National Commission of Population (NCP) in India practice that the next 15 years, in that means in 2036, about 38.8% of the Indian population, means roughly 6 million population, 600 koti population, sorry, 600 million will live in urban areas. The United Nations to highlight that Indian urban population size will nearly double between 2018 and 2050 from 461 to 877 million. My friends, why I am going to focus on this point? Because Indian urbanization problem nowadays, you know, what is the internal transportation system of Indian towns, you know, what is the savage problem of Indian urban areas, you know, what is the drinking water problems of Indian urban areas, and same time you give facilities to develop urban area, and what is the situation in 2050? Is all situation, transportation network system, drainage system, sewage system, drinking water system, communication system, internet system, but the pressure on this all infrastructure facility captured by heavy population, and this is the most important point in our topic. Same time, my dear participants, you know, urban population is a comparison. You saw the तुम्हाला दिसतं का हे टेबल मी समोर ठेवलेलं?
दिसताय सर.
ते
दिसताय.
हा, कारण मला तर माझ्या मोबाईलवर काही दिसत नाही ते. ठीक आहे, तर इथं या टेबलमध्ये फक्त कंपॅरिझन केलं होतं आपण की our state Maharashtra is permanently higher side compared to total Indian urban population. Means 2001, the total urban population in India is 10.8%. When you are just find the figure of Maharashtra, it is 16.6. Then in independence period, you just assume 1951. The total urban population in India is a 17.2, and Maharashtra is a 28.8%. We say in 19, after 19, migration rate is higher. Automatically saw here 25.5 of country's urban population, and the Maharashtra is 38.8% urban population. And in 2011, the total urban population of India is 31.2%. Comparatively, this Maharashtra is 45.2, means Maharashtra is most urbanized state up to 2011, but Tamil Nadu take ranking first on Maharashtra also. Then recent issues and challenges in urbanization in India. Then I just going through by this point: inclusive urbanization, exclusive and contrastal trend and urbanization in India, bypass approach, employment, inclusive urbanization and related issues, affordable housing system, slum area, and tenure security. This is the main issue in Indian urbanization. Same time, policy measures for inclusive urbanization is the Jawaharlal Nehru National Urban Renewal Mission. Problem related to that mission. Public and private partnership is just you just assume there is a public is a RERA and something, and concept of smart cities is most important role in now a day or in a developed urbanization in India. Makeover city concept and sister cities. These are main issues. These are study issues for research work, and you take one point from this and do lot of work in research work also, because sister cities is a very important concept in India also, because no you know Hyderabad also sister cities, Pune, Pimpri Chinchwad, then Sangli mirror like this, Mumbai, New Mumbai, these are sister cities like this develop, and same time why sister cities is in why this is a major issues, recent issues, because some transportation network, some communication network, some drinking water facilities, all things is related to each other, and so this issue is important in today's urbanization. Next, uh, special reference to Maharashtra. As per details from Census 11, Maharashtra has population of 11.23 crore, has increased from figure of 9.69 crores in 2011. Total population of Maharashtra as per 2011 census. Total population of Maharashtra as per 11 census is 11 crore and something. Male and female, this figure is given. I am just given my presentation to all participant. Then main thing, population increase. Same time, what is the situation of urbanization in India, in Maharashtra? As per the details of Census 11, Maharashtra has just 1 minute. This show the total population growth indicates 15.99, while in India previous decades in 22, like the whole. Oh, आपल्याला त्याच्यात काही करायचं नाही, ह्या लिटरसी वगैरे हे जस्ट मी दिलेलं आहे ते, त्याची काय आपल्याला इथं गरज नाही, आपल्या अर्बनायझेशन वर बेसिकली फोकस करायचंय की नाही. आणि literacy rate in Maharashtra has been upward trends, and it's 82.91% as per 11 census. And same time, when literacy rate, education level going to increase, automatically movement of people also going to increase. And so I just explaining this point in this presentation. So it is not linkage to each other, it gets some large time, but just I explain why this part is important, because in past period the literacy level, education level is less all over the India, and automatically urbanization also less in that particular time. Why? Because people has no sufficient education, people has not literate, and they're not taking risk move from rural area to urban area. This is a comparison table of Maharashtra and state. Okay. Maharashtra urban population, out of total population of Maharashtra, 45.23 people lives in urban areas. Total figure of the population lives in urban areas. It's 50 crores, 50 lakh something male population, female population. This I am not interested in figure. Next, my opinion, why when we are just compare to Tamil Nadu and Maharashtra is the most important point in this way. The state of Maharashtra remain always ahead than the national level of urbanization. Okay. However, the census data reflect a change in the trends since 2001. Tamil Nadu has taken over and is a leading state as far as urbanization level is considered. Tamil Nadu shows much more decentralization and distributed urbanization as against to polarization status of urban Maharashtra. If Maharashtra has to maintain its top position, there is a serious need for proper policy implementation regarding urbanization and its various issues. My friends, this is a very important point. When you are anybody doing research in population geography or in doing some work in urbanization in Maharashtra or some state of some tehsil or some district of Maharashtra, take into consideration Tamil Nadu shows much more decentralized urbanization. What is decentralized urbanization? Means 5,000 population, people engaged in secondary or tertiary activities, number is more than 75%. Means in shortly, people not engaged, more people not engaged in the primary sector. Means in which area secondary and tertiary sector is developed, automatically this area converted to rural to urban. Means job opportunity, infrastructure, industrial development happen in that particular area. But when you are just overlook of Maharashtra urbanization, when you are talking about the urban area of Maharashtra, you say Mumbai, Navi Mumbai, then Pune, Nagpur, Kolhapur. After that, Sangli. After that, Aurangabad. Okay, no problem. But what is remaining Maharashtra? What is the situation of remaining Maharashtra? Because lot of urban center developed in polarized situation. But this is a completely opposite situation in Tamil Nadu. They just developed small area, agriculture, small industrial area in overall state. And they just decentralize all industries from one place. And they create some bar of industrial region. Taluka place, some broad village, and they convert this village into industrial area. And so the total urban population showing increase in Tamil Nadu comparatively to Maharashtra. Polarization of urbanization in Maharashtra, and that is the most important drawback of Maharashtra urban population or urbanization of Maharashtra. There are various challenges faced by the urbanization in the state. Besides the priority to road, water supply, sewage, and other basic infrastructure, the greatest challenges to the smooth acquisition of land needed for the developing new urban areas. Political issues, the delicate issues like special economic zone, and the contribution of need economy versus accumulation economy are the major challenges of state urbanization. Means स्मूथ ॲक्युरेशन जमीन ग्रहण करणं हा बेसिक महाराष्ट्रातल्या अर्बनायझेशनचा प्रॉब्लेम आहे. म्हणजे काय आहे की तुम्हाला एक व्हेन यू आर गोइंग टू डेव्हलप वन रोड इनसाइड द सिटी, फर्स्ट प्रॉब्लेम नॉट इज द प्रॉब्लेम ऑफ फंड, प्रॉब्लेम इज ॲक्वारिझम, जमिनीचा ग्रहण करणं. म्हणजे तिथं काही दुकान असतील, तिथं काही शेती असेल, you know, we are just some heard about the Samruddhi Mahamarga. In today's period, we are just heard about the ring road in our circle size of Pune cities, Pune Pimpri city. All fund is available by government, but acquisition is the most problem in Indian urbanization. Same time, when in Maharashtra, anybody want to developing the new urban areas, political issue create, because political situation. I am not going to talk on this major issue of politics in Maharashtra, but this is a major thread of Indian Maharashtrian urbanization and special economic zone, some political influence on that zone, and same time contribution of need economy versus accumulation economy. म्हणजे नीड इकॉनॉमी म्हणजे काय की रोजगार मिळावा म्हणून लोकांना इंडस्ट्री उघडायची, तर उद्योगपतींना वेळ द्या, उद्योगधंद्यावाल्यांना उद्योजकांना संधी देऊन त्यांचे उद्योग वाढायचे, हे करायचं. हा एक मेजर प्रॉब्लेम महाराष्ट्राच्या अर्बनायझेशन मध्ये आहे. This graph showing you the urbanization of Maharashtra comparatively to India. Okay, this is not focus point of our talk. Same time, I just explained this graph. Maharashtra's top position in urban was in 2001, and when in 2011 Karnataka, Tamil Nadu takes place of Maharashtra, and in Maharashtra is ranking second. Then this table showing you the urbanization of Maharashtra, growth of urbanization in Maharashtra is the same time you saw here Bhandara. Okay, in 2011 the stay in district Bhandara was 21.1% population living in urban area, but 2011 there is no increase in urban population, and it is a very interesting part. You just saw Bhandara district, Bhandara. You know, this is a very tribal district in Maharashtra. 16.6 to 20.6. How many years take for this development? More than 40 years. And after 20 years, the sufficient development about the urbanization is not taken place. Why? There is a lot of natural resources, but industry development is very less, and so people not move from rural area to urban area. Same situation about the district Wasim. Okay. Now, but set negative or set different condition or opposite condition in Nagpur. Nagpur take high improvement because this is one major city in Vidarbha, and from independence also the high rate of the urbanization in that particular district. Same way in Marathwada there is a Hingoli and Parbhani. These districts also backward with reference to the urbanization, and other districts from Maharashtra is slightly upper lower situation, but comparatively just they slightly they going to develop urban areas, they develop, but this figure is not tremendously changed. Why? Because our polar urbanization, because our polar situation of industrial development. And when you take some example by the Tamil Nadu, automatically these backward districts are uh, compared to backward means uh, urbanization backward, this will take improvement in this uh, tehsil or in these districts by the decentralization process. Next, this graph showing the this high region of the Maharashtra, but this is not uh, watchable to you from mobile, and so I am not talking more on this. But this Konkan region is automatically showing high buildings of graph because Mumbai, New Bombay is in this Konkan region, and this uh, Nagpur region is showing high improvement in urbanization, but Nagpur, the district Nagpur is contribution of Nagpur is high, and so this graph showing upper direction. But when Marathwada and some part of Vidarbha means some districts from Vidarbha here Amravati region and some districts from Nagpur region. Nagpur region is Wardha, Gadchiroli, but the Nagpur म्हणजे नागपूरने त्यांना उचलून धरलं असंच म्हणता येईल ऍक्च्युली ह्या रिजन मध्ये काय खूप अर्बनायझेशन झालं असं म्हणता येत नाही पण आपण जर पाहिलं तर औरंगाबाद म्हणजे मराठवाडा जो रिजन आहे तो मात्र कम्पॅरेटिव्हली या डेव्हलपमेंटच्या किंवा अर्बनायझेशन मध्ये कसा राहिला बॅकवर्ड राहिला ओके दिस इज the graph shows that the Konkan division top in list of the urbanization in all the 3 decades, and both Mumbai and Mumbai suburbs are included in this division. The second position, I already explained this. The second position has 21. The second position as per the 2011 data goes to the Nagpur division, which a considerable graph of more than 30%, followed closely by Pune division. It is increasing to know that the second position of Pune division has been trashed by the Nagpur division during the latest census. But my opinion in this regard, basically in Nagpur region, Nagpur is a major tehsil. But when we just saying नागपूर आणि पुणा जवळ जवळ आहे पुणा रिजन आणि नागपूर जवळ जवळ आहे पण पोलरायझेशन अँड डिसेंट्रलायझेशन यांचं तहसील वाईज कंपॅरिझन केलं तर पुणा रिजन इज बेटर टू नागपूर रिजन बिकॉज इन पुणा रिजन कोल्हापूर सांगली सातारा पुणे itself is industrialized districts or industrialized places in districts. Same time, we just moving to ending part of our lecture. Challenges. There are many challenges in the smooth transformation of the urbanization of the economy, both at the national and state level. It has been observed that the world-class metros are laying emphasis of the road infrastructure which would benefit those with private vehicles than the general population. Those observably result in the imbalanced growth strategy in future, population explosion, high cost of living, economic disparity, parking space, pollution, and coming to the state of Maharashtra, which has the largest and 8th largest metropolis, water supply, followed by sewage, are most important sector of development in relation to the growth of urbanization. These are challenges and future of the urbanization is anticipated that the pressure of the population in the rural areas are limited opportunity available. There are expected the rural urban migration and increasing growth in urbanization in the country and the state as well. the projected rate of the urbanization would be 5.70% in the year 25-26. This means that by 26, as well as 38% of the total population of the country would be in the urban category. However, it is also felt that India's urbanization would slow down because of its exclusively nature and its inability to observe rural urban migration. Means it's a very nice future for Indian urbanization, but same time there is a lot of problem also, lot of challenges also Indian urbanization. My friends, why I am explaining this part? Because all peoples taking various subjects for their research. And nowadays, settlement geography, population geography, and impact of this pandemic issues in last 2 years. Lot of cities also suffer, lot of rural areas suffered, and in my mind, you just observe what is the impact on this urbanization in last 2 years. My friends, in 1872, first census in India happened, first census. After that, 1881, then from, from that date, every 10 years, Indian census is collect some data, collect some population information. But particularly from last 100 years, one thing happened in this year, our census is not complete in 2021. I don't know how many times it gets for completion, but first time our census time is disturbed by this COVID-19, and it is very dangerous. Not only dangerous, but all field, education field, urbanization, urban growth, urban infrastructure, urban industry development, all affected by this. And so you take into consideration this is a way, this is a one way to, this is a one point for your study also, for project, whatever for research work. And so I just give this, I just raise this point in front of you. So I'm going to finish my lecture here. Finally, I just thanks about the Department of Geography, SP College, Pune, because myself is a ex-student of the department. My friends, Professor Manoj Devane sir give this opportunity to me, and same time Professor Dr. Dhavle sir also cooperate me, and I am very much thanks about this participant. They just heard news from last 1.5 hours. So I'm going to stop here. Any query or any suggestion is welcomed by me from my side. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Any queries, any questions for the resource person, please? Okay, sir, while they think about a few queries, can I ask a few questions?
Okay.
Urbanization, sir. Hello. Hello.
हाँ बोलिए.
Sir. An observation is that Bihar and Uttar Pradesh are amongst the most populous states in India.
India.
Having said that, urbanization is not high in both these states. In fact, it is as low as 25%.
Yes.
In your view, what could be the possible reason for that?
It's only one reason is urbanization means industrialization is very less in that particular region.
Okay.
And small scale industries and broad industries, very less. Basically, my friends, dear sir, you know, the literacy rate is very less in that particular state in past period also.
Uh-huh.
Then some problems related to sex ratio also. The Demaru state is that we call the Demaru state in that particular area. But one reason is means ते कसं आहे सर ते दुष्ट चक्र आहे म्हणजे लिटरसी रेट कमी म्हणजे एज्युकेशन कमी म्हणून इंडस्ट्रियलायझेशन कमी आणि इंडस्ट्रियलायझेशन कमी म्हणून मग जॉब ऑपॉर्च्युनिटीज कमी आणि जॉब ऑपॉर्च्युनिटी कमी सो पीपल जस्ट नॉट मूव देअर district headquarters, they move from Uttar Pradesh or Bihar to Maharashtra because there is no industrial development, no employment opportunity.
Okay.
And in shortly, my answer is no. Comparatively, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, and Southern India state, this state is a less industrialized state.
Okay. Any questions? Participants? Any queries you have?
सर माझा एक प्रश्न आहे.
Okay.
हॅलो.
हा बोला सर बोला.
तर शहरीकरण होण्यासाठी काही पॉलिटिकल पण थोडं हे लागतं का? उदाहरणार्थ जर आता पुण्याचा जर आपण आता विचार केला, मारुंजी किंवा मावळ यासारखी काही जे मारुंजी असेल किंवा इतर जी गावं आहेत तर ती शहरीमध्ये घेण्यासाठी
मला कळलं मला कळलं की त्यात पॉलिटिकल व्ह्यू काय असतात की मी मुद्दाम तो टॉपिक थोडासा मी फक्त जाता पॉलिटिकल इश्यूज बोललो. अर्बनायझेशनला फक्त मी असं म्हटलं होतं का इकॉनॉमिक फॅक्टर आणि नॉन इकॉनॉमिक फॅक्टर. त्या नॉन इकॉनॉमिक फॅक्टर मध्ये मी असं बोललो तुम्हाला का पॉलिटिकल व्ह्यू काय असतात शेवटी हे मताचं राजकारण असतं. मग बऱ्याच वेळा काय होतं तर तो संपूर्ण सबर्ब एरिया जो असतो सिटीच्या जवळपासचा एरिया, न्यू सिटीचं तर नंतर बोलूया आपण. न्यू सिटीचं डेव्हलपमेंटला त्या पर्टिक्युलर पॉलिटिशियनचा व्ह्यू माइंड व्ह्यू खूप मोठा असावा लागतो. तर माझ्या एरियात एखादं सिटी डेव्हलप व्हावं, इंडस्ट्री डेव्हलप व्हावं, मग त्या लोकांना जॉब मिळावा, हा नंतरचा इश्यू आहे. पहिला इश्यू काय माहितीये का माझा हा जर एरिया कन्व्हर्ट झाला अर्बन एरियामध्ये तर त्याला व्होटिंग बँकच्या दृष्टीने मला काय बेनिफिट मिळेल हा त्यामध्ये व्ह्यू राहतो बऱ्याच वेळा. आणि मग त्या व्ह्यूने त्या अर्बन कन्व्हर्जन होतं आणि त्याला कसं असतं पॉलिटिकल पॉवर पाहिजे त्याला सगळं. मला मत वाटतं का हा माझ्या फेवर मध्ये. आणि मग ज्यावेळेस माझ्या हातात पॉवर येईल त्यावेळेस मी ते फेवर मधला एरिया कन्वर्ट करू शकतो माझ्या याच्यात. म्हणजे असतोच 100% पॉलिटिकल प्रेशर, पॉलिटिकल फॅक्टर इम्पॅक्ट करतोच अर्बनायझेशन. हे माझं थोडक्यात उत्तर आहे ते.
थँक्यू सर.
म्हणजे आपण म्हणू शकत नाही का पॉलिटिकल इन्फ्लुएन्स नसतं, तर असतोच.
सर
बोला देवीदास.
येस सर. सर मी डॉक्टर देवणे सरांचाच क्वेश्चन पुढे फॉरवर्ड करतो की सरांनी जसं विचारलं की बिहारमध्ये अर्बनायझेशन कमी आहे. सर पूर्वी झारखंड आणि छत्तीसगडचा जो काही भाग होता तर तो बिहारमध्ये इन्क्लूड होता आणि त्या भागामध्येच मोठ्या प्रमाणावरती मायनिंग ऍक्टिव्हिटीज आहेत. त्यानंतर रॉ मटेरियल तिथून मोठ्या प्रमाणावरती देशाच्या इतर भागामध्ये प्रोव्हाइड केलं जातं.
मला कळलं तुमचा प्रश्नही कळला मला. हे बघा जरी मायनिंग ऍक्टिव्हिटीज म्हणजे रिसोर्सेस आहे,
येस सर,
नॅचरल रिसोर्सेस त्यांच्याकडे आहेत नाही असं नाही, पण त्या एरियामध्ये जे तिथं मायनिंग ऍक्टिव्हिटीज मध्ये जे वर्कर एंगेज आहे ते वर्कर तिथले लोकल जेवढाच त्यांना सफिशियंट हवा आहे तेवढाच वर्कर आहे. पण त्यातून टर्शरी ऍक्टिव्हिटीज पुढे डेव्हलप झालं नाही. सेकंडरी ऍक्टिव्हिटी त्या मानाने फक्त मायनिंगनी नाही डेव्हलप झाली कारण तिथं फक्त काय झालं तेवढ्या पुरतेच लोक स्थिरावले गेले मायनिंगच्या ऍक्टिव्हिटीज मध्ये. त्याच्यामुळे इंडस्ट्री डेव्हलपमेंट झालं असं आपल्याला म्हणता येत नाही. मग तुम्ही काय म्हणणार का सर तिथं आयर्न अँड स्टील इंडस्ट्री जवळ आहे नंतर मग त्याचं हे झालं. तर हे बघा काय एका माइननी किंवा एका आयर्न अँड स्टील इंडस्ट्रीनी खूप मोठ्या लोकांना अक्युमुलेट करता येत नसतं. कसं आता तुम्ही सांगा पुण्यात आहे का एखादी मायनिंग इंडस्ट्री, पुण्यात आहे का आयर्न अँड स्टील फॅक्टरी, बरोबर. पण टाटा सारखी फॅक्टरी म्हणा किंवा बजाज सारखी एखादी इंडस्ट्री म्हणा किंवा आणखी आता मी काय सगळ्यात जात नाही, पण कितीतरी लोकांना अकोमोडेट करू शकतात की नाही, तर ते अकोमोडेशन कमी आहे त्या इंडस्ट्रीमध्ये. त्याच्यामुळं तिथं आणि ह्या ज्या माईन आहेत, ह्या ज्या इंडस्ट्री आहेत, त्या सगळ्या शेवटी रुरल एरियातच आहेत. त्या कुठं तिथं बाकी डेव्हलप झाले का, त्यांचे रोड नेटवर्क डेव्हलप झाले का, त्यांच्या कम्युनिकेशन डेव्हलप झाले, काहीच नाही. ओके, बाकी कुणाला काही विचारायचं
त्या
असेल?
दृष्टिकोनातून मला एक असा प्रश्न आहे तुम्हाला, की नाशिक जिल्ह्यातील सिन्नर हे जे काही तालुका आहे, या तालुक्यामध्ये सर्वाधिक इंडस्ट्रियलायझेशन आहे. पण त्या तालुक्याची लोकसंख्या जर बघितली आणि तिथले कामगार जे आहेत, तालुक्यापेक्षा कामगारांची संख्या जास्त आहे, पण तरी पण शहरीकरण त्या भागामध्ये होत नाही. हे काय रिझन असेल
हो,
त्याचं?
कारण काय माहितीये का, त्या तिथलं जे पॉप्युलेशन आणि तिथले जे इंडस्ट्रीमध्ये लोक काम करतात, तिथला सर्वे केला पाहिजे का तिथले लोकल लोक किती त्याच्यात, बरोबर. ते जर त्यांची जर सेन्सस नोंदणी जर बाहेर असतील आणि ते ऍज अ जॉब होल्डर म्हणून तिथे येत असतील, तर टोटल पॉप्युलेशनवर त्याचा इम्पॅक्ट दिसणार नाही तुम्हाला. कारण समजा तो नाशिकचा असेल किंवा तो इगतपुरीवरून तिथं का येत असेल किंवा तो इकडं आळे फाट्यावरून तो तिथं, म्हणजे व्हॉटेवर मी तुम्ही म्हणाल असं नाही सर, पण तिथला लोकल जो आहे तो त्या तिथल्या सेन्सस मध्ये आहे का, तिथला वर्कर, तिथं काम करणारा माणूस. त्याच्यामुळं सिन्नरचं अर्बन पॉप्युलेशन दिसत नाही, कारण तिथल्या लोकल पीपलची संख्या कमी असली पाहिजे. आता हे बघा, मला 1 to 1 ते नाही इतकं डिटेल जाता येणार, तरी पण मी सांगतो का, जर तिथला पॉप्युलेशन जर लोकल असेल तर का त्याचा इफेक्ट दिसलाच पाहिजे. किंवा मग ते सेन्ससच्या आकडेवारीत नको आपण रुरल अर्बन दाखवलं तर आपल्याला काही बेनिफिट मिळणार नाही, अशी शक्यता असू शकते त्याच्यात. परत शेवटी तो माणूस तिथला जो काम करतो, तो आपली नोंदणी करताना किती पारदर्शक करतो तेही अवलंबून राहतं. परत
ओके, थँक्यू.
येस, एनी मोर क्वेश्चन्स? सर एक शेवटचा घेऊ का प्रश्न मी?
हो,
म्हणजे एक ऑब्झर्वेशन आहे माझं, की आता बाकी शहरांबद्दल मी नाही बोलू शकणार, पण पुणे मुंबई शहरांबद्दल जे मी 15 वर्ष मुंबईत अनुभवलं आणि आता पुण्यात होऊ घातलेला आहे, हा बकालपणा शहरांचा वाढतो आहे असं वाटतंय. म्हणजे म्हणायला आपण मेट्रो बांधली, हे बांधलं, ते बांधलं, पण क्लायमॅटिक इम्पॅक्ट किंवा सिव्हिअर फिनॉमिना इम्पॅक्ट जे आहेत, म्हणजे आता मी मुंबईत होतो तेव्हा 2010 पर्यंत मुंबईत होतो, वर्षातले एक 4 ते 5 दिवस अख्खी मुंबई बंद असायची, पावसामुळे असू दे, कशामुळे असू दे. आणि रिसेंटली हा ट्रेंड आता पुण्यातही येऊ घातलेला आहे, की एखादा दिवस तरी वर्षातून असा जातो की पुण्यातली मुवमेंट ठप्प होते इकडून तिकडून. तर ह्या अनुषंगाने शहरीकरणाकडे तुम्ही म्हटला की पॉझिटिव्ह फ्युचर आहे, पण भारताच्या याच्यात आणि प्लॅनिंग पाहता हे कितपत आपल्याला पॉझिटिव्ह आहे असं
पॉझिटिव्ह या अर्थाने मी म्हटलं सर, की याचबरोबर चॅलेंजेस ज्यावेळेस मी सांगितले इंडियन बेसिकली महाराष्ट्रीयन सिटीजचे, हे चॅलेंज सांगताना मी हे पॉइंट सांगितलेलंच आहे. पण सर कसं आहे, आता यू आर ऑल्सो स्कॉलर, आपण प्रोजेक्शन करतो, बरोबर. आता परवा दिवशी सर देवने सर तुम्ही सुद्धा एक बातमी वाचली असेल कदाचित, मला आता ते डिटेल सांगता येत नाही, पण इंडिया म्हणजे वर्ल्ड मधले सेफेस्ट सिटी कुठले असं एक आलं होतं बघा. म्हणजे कॉमन मॅनला राहण्यासाठी सेफ सिटी. आणि आय एम व्हेरी मच शॉक अबाउट दिस सर, बिकॉज नो वन सिटी फ्रॉम माय महाराष्ट्र इन दॅट लिस्ट. मग हे कशामुळे झालं, तर शेवटी अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट हा जो फॅक्टर आहे ना सर, म्हणजे माझं मत बरं का, इंडिव्हिज्युअल ओपिनियन, म्हणजे इट्स नॉट युनिव्हर्सल और इट्स नॉट लिटरेचर. माय ओपिनियन इज अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट इज अ बेसिक प्रॉब्लेम फॉर ऑल. माणूस गुंतला का नाही सर एखाद्या व्यवसायात, त्याला सफिशियंट इन्कम त्याचा क्रिएट झाला की नाही, तर ही इज हॅपी. आणि मग त्याच्यातून त्याचे नको ते उद्योग सुरू होत नाही. सॉरी, म्हणजे मला माहित नाही हा पार्लमेंटली वर्ड वापरतो का अनपार्लमेंटली नाही येतो, पण त्याचे नको ते उद्योग म्हणजे काय, उगाच कोणाला त्रास देणं, कारण तो एंगेज राहतो आणि ही सॅटिस्फाईड. आणि सॅटिस्फाईड माणूस मग सर हे बघा सर आपण विचार करतो ज्यावेळेस आपण पोट भरलं असत नाही, म्हणजे कॉमन बिईंगचं सांगतो मी, ह्युमन बिईंग, त्यावेळेस पोट भरलं असतं त्याच वेळेस आपल्याला इच्छा होती का अरे सगळ्यांची पोट भरली पाहिजे, मग माझं
हा.
शिल्लक राहिलं मी त्याला द्यायला पाहिजे. पण मीच जर अर्धपोटी असेल तर काय म्हणणार होता मी?
एक्झॅक्टली.
आणि मग मी काय करणार? मी म्हणणार का मला मिळालं, मी उपाशी राहतो, मी तुला देतो. कदाचित सर तुमच्या हातातलं मी हिसकावून घेईन.
डेफिनेटली. येस.
पण आय एम हँग्री. मग ह्या सगळ्या गोष्टीवर काय तर एम्प्लॉयमेंट लोकांना सफिशियंट त्यांच्या हातात कसं मिळवता येईल. आता याच्यात ह्या मग गव्हर्नमेंट पॉलिसी काय, एवढ्या मोठ्या पॉप्युलेशनला हे कसं बेअर करायचं, ह्या सगळ्या कल्पना विलास सगळ्या गोष्टी. म्हणजे वी आर म्हणजे आपण तरी एक मानूया का एवढं मोठं पॉप्युलेशन आज तुम्ही जर तालिबानमध्ये पॉप्युलेशन कमी म्हणजे कम्पॅरेटिव्हली त्यांचा एरिया बघितला पण अराजकता किती मोठी. अर्थात आपण तो कम्पॅरिझन नाही करत, आपला देश हा वेगळाच आहे त्या सगळ्या गोष्टींमध्ये. पण तरीही याच्यावर एकमेव उपाय, अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट जितकं वाढेल तितकं सिटीची सिक्युरिटी कमी होणार.
थँक्यू सर, थँक्यू. Can we go for the formal vote of thanks, please?
Yes, sir. Myself, Devi Sonone. Good evening, one and all. I deem it great honor and privilege to express my sincere gratitude to Dr. Arjun Musmade, sir, Professor in Geography, for having a fruitful discussion on topic population and urbanization in India. In his concept talk, sir has threw light on seasonal migration and urbanization, its causes and consequences. Secondly, the regional patterns of urbanization, and third, the recent issues and challenges in urbanization in India. Thank you very much, sir, for having fruitful discussion. Then I would like to thanks to Principal Dr. Datar Ma'am, SP College Pune, then coordinator of the course, Dr. Devne sir, and joint coordinator of the course, Dr. Dhawale sir, for giving this opportunity, and also thanks to all the participants for the patient listening. Thank you, sir.